What is going on, everyone? We have a special video for you. Today we are showing you guys how to play Pokemon TCG. We are going to be doing this through TCG Live. This Saturday we will be doing an actual physical TCG video. So I'm going to be running a Dragapult deck. This is one of the most basic and one of the best decks that you can have in the TCG currently. So if you want to see the deck list, I'll have that linked down below. But you can kind of see some of the cards that we're running here. Alrighty. And my buddy is going to be running a Ends Zoroark deck. It is going to look something similar to what it's going to be similar to what he's running, maybe a little bit different. So let's get into it. So we're going to join match here. And yes, he is running a female character model.
I'm calling the coin flip.
Yep.
I choose heads.
Tails never fails.
It was heads.
Tails failed. So here, when you choose heads or tails, so he's going to go first. This means he gets to play his cards first. You will see why most decks want to go second here in a minute. So when you start out, you are going to draw 7 cards. You are going to have to put a basic out front. If you cannot put a basic out front, then you will mulligan. That means your opponent gets to draw an extra card.
Or they could choose to not draw any cards.
They don't have to. Yep, it's their choice. So he's going to wait a minute here, and then he's going to go first. You're going to see why you usually want to go second here in a minute. So essentially, he's going to get to play his hand first. He can play pretty much any extra Pokemon he wants. He can play energies, or he can just pass to me. So
did not get a great starting hand.
I'm aware of that. So
just so that people know,
this is one of the most broken cards in the game. It's called Buddy Buddy Poffin. It just allows you to get a bunch of basic Pokemon on your bench. It's pretty good. So what we're going to end up doing here is we're going to play that there. We're going to use what's called Crispin. Crispin's going to allow us to get 2 energies. And it's going to allow us to play 1 and put 1 on our hand. Very good for specifically the Dragapult deck. So what Itchy Pollen does here is he can no longer play item cards on his next turn.
Also, the reason the attack says 10, but he dealt 20 is because all dark types have a weakness of 2 times to grass.
Yep. If you can see right over here in the corner, yep, he took double damage to that. So if you can see here on my Bidoof, I would take 2 times damage to fire types. Once you learn all these typings, it's a lot easier. So he just evolved into his Zoroark, and he played Professor's Research. That allows him to completely discard his hand and draw 7 more cards, which is pretty nice, and it means he had a pretty bad hand. If I'm being honest. That is exactly what that means. Yeah.
Wyatt just used the ability Recon Directive, which allowed him to look at the top 2 cards of the deck, and he picked one of them. The other one went to the bottom of the deck.
Yes. Itchy Pollen. He just evolved his benched Pokemon So what he can use here is he can use the move called Trade. It's an ability. He can only use this once per turn, but he can use it on both of his Zoroarks. He is allowed to trade out one of his cards for 2 other cards, which is kind of good.
You've got to be kidding me.
And his pulls have absolutely sucked.
Oh, they aren't seeing this. I'm using Cypher Maniac's code breaking to search my deck for 2 cards and shuffle. Search 2 cards, shuffle the deck, and then put the 2 cards on top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for my Ends Reshiram. I run 2. Neither of them are there.
They're both prize carded.
They are both prize card, which means I am boned.
So this is another thing that separates the normal game from Pocket, and that is you have to play 6 prize cards at the start of the game. These can be any 6 cards. So essentially all 3 of my Dragapults could be prize carded, which would be very bad for me.
Just like both of my Ends Reshiram's are prize carded.
Yep. So what Iono does in the actual TCG is you shuffle your hand and you put it to the bottom of your deck. That is very important to remember. So what I'm about to use is called Phantom Drive. This is going to do 200 damage to his main Pokemon, and it's going to allow me to place 60 damage anywhere I want on his bench. So we're going to do that, and that is not actually going to one-shot him. It's going to put him just within one-shot range for next time. Well, it's going to put him within one-shot range for what we're going to do. And you're going to see what we're going to do here in a minute when I show you how to use this next card. This one right here. So what he's using here is Ultra Ball. He discards 2 cards and then searches his deck for 1 Pokemon. I have a feeling he's looking for a Darumaka or a Darmanitan. Nope, Monkey Dory. That's surprising. So what Monkey Dory can do is if he has a Dark Energy attached to it, he can move 30 damage from one of his Pokemon to one of mine. So you could knock out one of these Badoos. But I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so I have a feeling he's going to knock out one of these Badoos. I could be wrong, though. And every time you knock out a Pokemon, so like this one, yeah, so you just knocked out a Badoo. You're going to notice he's able to take one of these prize cards here, and he's hoping he gets one of his Reshiram's.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming he got. Actually, no, he'd be playing it immediately if he got it. So he did not get one. Ah, he pulled his gold Zoroark. Yep. So he's just trying to get as many of these on the field as he can. That way, I can't just absolutely bonk him anymore. So at this point, he's just trying to get it so he can run Night Joker. So that'll allow him to use one of his benched Ends Pokemon attacks as this card's attack. But he doesn't have his most powerful card, which is his Ends Reshiram. I was gonna say, you do realize the longer this goes, the longer I'm gonna have to edit this down.
I know. Me having both of those prized very much hinders this deck.
Yeah, I'm aware. So that's boss's orders. What it does is it just allows me to swap one of his benched Pokemon with his active. And he's gonna figure out real quick. I just completely messed that up. That's fine. So what I'm doing here is I'm splitting damage. That way, I can potentially one-shot his Pokemon next time. So since I knocked out one of his EXs, I get to take 2 prize cards myself. And those are actually some pretty good ones. Also, what I did here by putting out a stadium is I am able to have 8 Pokemon on my bench because I have a Terra Pokemon. This does not help him at all because his is not a Terra Pokemon. So the reason he wanted this is because of Powerful Rage and Virtuous Flame. So Powerful Rage will do 20 damage for each 10 damage on his Pokemon. So if he had still had that one that I knocked out last round, he would have been doing a lot of damage and could have one-shot mine.
Misplayed so hard.
Oh, Iono. So he's literally just going to make us discard our hands and draw 4 cards. And he gave me exactly what I wanted. Thank you, Attican. So you might see something here soon, and he's pushing his luck here. You're gonna.
Oh, I'm not gonna deck out.
You're gonna deck out.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna get close.
I can't do any more trades, and the problem is a bunch of my energy, I think, got prized.
So the issue we are referring to is at some point your energy. So like I said, you have those prize cards, and there's a big, huge issue where you can have your energy be stuck in the prize the prize cards, and you can't use it at all. So there's a reason, and you probably saw him use this earlier. There's a reason I'm grabbing this. So when if any of my Pokemon were knocked out during the last turn, I may draw 3 cards from my deck. And he used this in his last turn, and I'm using it now. So Arven's going to allow me to search for an item card and a tool card, which is very, very nice to be able to get certain cards out of your deck. Because it does not discriminate. You literally just discard 3 cards, make him discard. I draw 5, and he draws 2. So what we're going to do here is put that there. So once again, we are just splitting damage. So there's a reason I put the 10 damage on this Pheasantipity, and that is I do 200 damage. If I were to hit that Pheasantipity while it's in the active spot, then I would not be able to one-shot it. But since I put that 10 damage on there, if I'm able to move it into the active spot, I can one-shot it with my ability. So what he's going to do is he's going to use Powerful Rage. I have a feeling he's going to use Powerful Rage. That'll probably one-shot my Dragapult here. The nice thing is we have a second Dragapult lined up to be able to come out and just swing for a bunch of damage, which is kind of what I'm relying on. So he's going to make us Iono. That means we're going to be able to draw 4 cards. Yep. Which is fine. So he actually has something he needs to do here in order for him to win. And it's not that. So he's going to draw 2 prize cards. So essentially, I need to get him to a point where he cannot one-shot me next turn. That is my main sort of goal here. And you're going to figure out real quick, we have a way to do that. And we actually did not get it. That sucks. So I'm gonna have to do what I didn't want to do. And that is to do this. We're just going to attack. Okay. So I was correct. What he doesn't realize is Itchy Pollen is not going to do anything to me.
Okay.
I can still win. Itchy Pollen, which is kind of what I figured he was going to do. So we're going to do this. So there's two ways we could go about this. And we're going to do this way. We're going to use Cursed Blast. We're going to put 50 damage onto his Monkey Dory. That will knock out our Dusclops. He will be able to draw one prize card. That's going to put him at one prize card left. And what we're going to do, we're going to Phantom Drive. Put 30 damage onto the Monkey Dory, knocking it out. And it doesn't really matter where the rest of this damage goes, because we win the game by taking 2 prize cards. And that's how you play Pokemon TCG. Egg on out.